Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. This is Business Express. It's Rotus and Zibby. As always, let us know. We want to hear from you. 0809 440 981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also tweet at Smooth981. And you can also catch the live stream up on our YouTube channel. It's Smooth981 FM Lagos. And don't forget to subscribe. Good morning, Rotus. How are you? Good morning.
I'm fine, thank you, Zibby. Good morning to you.
Okay, you were frozen for a little bit. All right. Okay, good. So, how's it going?
It's almost the end of the week. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yay! Aren't we? Okay. So, this is very interesting. Now, we all at some point wish we were billionaires because when you're a billionaire, a lot of your financial problems are out of the way. So you have to focus on, if you one less problem to worry about, really, right?
Indeed, that's right. That's right.
But that is not the case for some billionaires, or at least billionaire offspring. The billionaire daughter, the Hawa Indimi, was seen complaining online about the price of tomatoes in the markets.
That's right. Yes, that's correct. The rich also cry.
By that, and so we can get Rotus back so we can have this conversation. Yay, Rotus is back. Thank
the gremlins are out to get us this morning.
Okay, doesn't seem like Rotus can hear me. I think it might have something to do with a poor signal. Rotus, it feels like you keep coming in and out. Can you hear me, see me?
Yes, I can hear and see you now. Can you hear and see me?
Oh, yes, I can. That's great. That's great. All right, Rotus. So for people who don't know, who is Hawa Indimi?
She's the daughter of Mohammed Indimi. He's the founder of Oriental Energy. I think they're an upstream oil and gas company. And I think according to Forbes, his estimated net worth is
All right. According to Forbes, what's his estimated wealth?
About $500 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
okay. He's definitely a billionaire in Naira.
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay. So how can regular folk like you and I actually process this? So the daughter of a man who's worth $500 million is complaining about the price of tomatoes.
Yeah, so I mean, as the saying goes, the rich also cry. Not that she can't afford it. Can you hear me? You can hear me clearly, yeah?
Yes. Now
okay.
I can hear.
Yeah, so I mean, not that she can't afford it. It's just that, she said it was about 8,000 Naira worth of tomatoes, and the Instagram post that she put up said she still can't get over how small the quantity is. So perhaps it's a reflection of where things are as far as the cost of food in Nigeria. And I would say it's I don't know, it's I guess good to see that it's not just it's not that she can't afford it, but it's she can, but it's just a reflection of how quantities are falling and the price of food items continue to rise in the country. So if the daughter of a billionaire is saying that this is pretty bad, then you can imagine what it's like for others.
Oh, wow. Now, one of the last monetary policy meetings, now suspended CBN Governor Emefiele, made an observation about the three shocks that are keeping food prices high. What are they?
Yeah, he mentioned the high cost of transportation. Majority of the movement of food is by road. Unfortunately, we don't have enough rail diversification in Nigeria. He also mentioned the insecurity, that's the attacks on farmers in food producing areas, and then legacy infrastructure issues, lack of power for storage of perishable goods. Those three were the main shocks that he mentioned at that meeting. It was 2 or 3 meetings ago.
Wow. Now, can these shocks be reduced? Are these things that can be reduced in a short time or a longer period?
Well, the insecurity can be done in a short time. You can't really do much about road transportation unless you look at, diversifying your transport infrastructure. So that's going to take a long time. The legacy infrastructure issues like power, for instance, that will probably can't be solved in a short time. That probably has to take a longer period of time. So it's really the insecurity, and I think that's pretty important. If you can get the handle on the insecurity issues, you might see a deceleration of fall in food prices.
All right, well, let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. You're listening to Business Express. It's Rotus and Zibby this morning. Coming to inflation, Rotus, what's been the impact of high inflation in Nigeria over the first 5 months of this year?
The World Bank, in a report, said that 4 million people were pushed into poverty in the first 5 months of this year. So it reflects how cost of living has been, has risen for people, and the fact that inflation is a clear and present danger to a lot of people. So if you've got more people falling into poverty, that is just going to raise alarm bells for the government, because you've got a whole lot of shocks and other challenges that are facing the government. You have the fuel subsidy removals and everything else, and so that's definitely going to make things a lot tougher.
Wow. Okay. We mentioned the Monetary Policy Committee just a few moments ago. Next week meetings in 2 weeks. What is likely to be their rate decision?
Well, it looks like they may continue to hike the benchmark interest rate because they're still chasing after inflation. We're currently at about 18.5, and inflation is at 24%. So is it 20? Well, actually 23 or so, but the high 20s. And so they'll continue to hike rates basically in order to try to catch inflation. Whether or not they're successful at doing that is a whole other story.
Wow. What will this do to borrowing costs and inflation as well?
Well, on the inflation part, they've been hiking rates since, and it hasn't impacted the figure. Inflation continues to climb, which tells you that the shocks are shocks that have been around for quite a while. Cost push inflation, basically, where it's just costs that keep accelerating, and then you've got supply of food and foodstuffs that have been impacted. So that doesn't seem to have any impact. Borrowing costs will rise. So if you've got a loan, you'll get a notice from your bank saying that your loan has been repriced upwards. So that's just going to make things more expensive and basically make things tougher for people who have existing loans. So it's just going to make costs continue to climb.
Okay, let's go on to WhatsApp. We have a few messages coming through. Ali says, one thing I've always known is that tomatoes and peppers are scarce in June, July, which is the rainy seasons. I've known that for 5 years. Oh, actually, I just learned that a few months ago. Okay. And it's how people don't like to acknowledge that and stop complaining and look for alternatives till a few months later when tomatoes are in season. Alternative for tomatoes I've seen on Instagram is carrots and other peppers and onions blended together to make a stew.
Interesting.
I've actually tried that, and it's
what was that? What was that like?
You
Oh
can't really
yeah.
tell the difference. Yeah, I tried it because I was curious a few years ago because there was a tomato thing like this. I think it might have been in 2016, and I
Yeah.
decided to try it out. And you really can't tell the difference if you're a good cook, of course.
Well, I think, I mean, for health reasons and the health benefits of tomatoes, the fact that it's a staple item as far as food production is concerned, we probably should think about being able to produce more with respect to soil quality, with respect to, well, our borders, which is an issue as far as not production, but bringing them into the country. We can raise production. I mean, this is why you need, research and development in universities that are not on strike, so you can explore these things and look at how to boost production, because food security has been an issue in the country.
Has been indeed. Okay. What's the inflation outlook for 2023?
Access Pensions, their chief investment officer said 30% by the end of the year. Bank of America put out a report. They said the same thing. World Bank said 25%. So it's just because of the shocks from mostly the fuel subsidy removal. We're probably going to see that continue to climb as far as this year is concerned.
Okay. You're on Personal Finance yesterday. That comes up every Wednesday from 5:15. What's your cost of living advice for Nigerians?
Zibby is to tighten up, got to tighten up, try to find ways to earn more money with side hustles. And when I say tighten up, I mean, reducing spending. Two fastest ways, or rather one of the fastest ways to try to preserve, wealth is by cutting your spending and focusing on your needs rather than wants, especially for people with families. And try to see how you can earn extra income between now and the end of the year, or to target 2024 with a new venture that you can use to put more money in your pockets, because we really are in for some tougher times. I mean, we're already here with tougher times, but about to get a lot tougher in the short term. And also with the government looking to try to raise more taxes, and trying to get revenue from businesses and so on. Those pressures will be passed on to consumers. So it's going to be a bit tough, and everyone just has to tighten their belts.
Okay, so I've got some messages coming through. Yinka says, I beg. When Ndimi's daughter complains, it's different from when I complain. It's all clouds. Tomatoes are scarce at this time of the year normally, so what's the fuss? I'm not even complaining that much. Her dad is worth 500 million, for heaven's sake. Ali says, producing more will mean further pushing for GMO, which I think isn't a good thing. And Chiemeka says, increase in food production is necessary. However, food preservation should be prioritized to manage the demand all year round. Thank you.
Great points from our listeners as usual.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and thanks for your messages. And don't forget to try that carrot stew. I mean, even if you can't afford the tomatoes, just try something different. Tweet at me and I'll give you a recipe. But yeah, that's all the time that we have for the show this morning. You can catch up with Rotus on social media. It's at Rotan Quotes. That's Rotan KWOT, yes?
That's correct. ROTAN KWOT, indeed.
All right. And that's it for the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Rotus. Have a brilliant day.
Thanks, Zibby. Catch you guys tomorrow.
And that is it for Business Express. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.